the reason that we chose the name Common Table for the food programs here at Common Ground is because the symbol of the table is so important. Around the world, the table is a place where people come together, and we're coming together to eat, right? We're all coming together on common ground, and if we try to create our status or different strata, then we're actually taking away from our time at the table. So we actually come together on a common ground, but equal playing field as well, equal levels. And then that way we're able to not only share a meal, but also interact, show love to one another, be friends, and do something greater than that. And when people eat too, we have a good time, and it becomes a joyous occasion. And so the Common Table, the idea is that we are all coming together, and people can come, whoever can come, to get food, to help not only feed them, but to create community as well.
When I think about the Common Table, that very word "common," right, helps me reflect on what are the commonalities of each individual, which includes, people, whatever race they come from, share this commonality of food and love for food. There's a saying in my culture that we say, eating alone is great, but when you are able to have and share a meal among friends, the food tastes even better. And so I think we get to be a part of that process here with Common Ground, where we're able to share food, enjoy, and hopefully one day be able to partake together around the table.
One of the things that we leaned into was we got to meet the tangible needs in the community. Like if a local church is in the community should feel that the local church is there. And one of the ways that happens is by meeting the tangible felt needs in the community. So Kaiser, back in 2013, they conducted a needs assessment in different areas all across the city, and they found that this area, 95823, was a at-risk community, and for a variety of reasons. But two of the reasons why this community was at risk was because there was a lack of healthy food options. There was an abundance of fast food and other convenient food, and there was safety was a concern. The violence in this community was a concern. So as a church, we pushed into those realities. We pushed into, okay, so how do we do our part to help the community feel safer? And how do we do our part to make sure that everybody has access to healthy food? When this church was built, there was nothing around here. The community college across the street just had one building. It has a full campus now. The park that's across the street didn't exist. So this church really was built with the community surrounding it. So the interesting thing about that is the community was historically white when the church was built. And as the community started to build out, the community started to change complexion. It started to look different. It started to represent all of the different racial and ethnic groups here in Sacramento. In 2020, as we know, we had the global pandemic. And by this time we were, maybe 50 or so people will be coming on Saturday mornings to get fresh produce. We ended up having a little more than cans. So maybe about 30 people were getting food in the pantry. 2020 hit and the numbers tripled.
We are giving out food to the community every week. We're making sure people get food resources that they need. Food that has been donated that would have most likely otherwise been wasted and thrown away in a landfill. So we're keeping the food out of a landfill and which is much better for the environment, and it's using a resource God gave us that then people can utilize. They can eat, they can be healthy, they can share it with their family, with their neighbors, with anyone in need.
Common Ground became Common Ground before we even knew it. It started off when a family, the Saturn family, reached out to a pastor after a Sunday afternoon and was like, I noticed that field back there. Can my family farm on it? And it was that yes that literally planted the seed. And that's created what we have today, the Me and Covenant Church and the garden in the back.
Some of our food partners, when they give us food, it's close to the expiration date. So instead of wasting it, throwing it away, we come back here, we compost it. So there's a team that comes super early on Saturday morning and they're chopping it up into as small pieces as they can. Then they throw it in this bin, and this needs to be turned every day. So somebody comes and they take what's in this bin, they put it over this one, they go all the way to the end. And by the time it's done, there's compost that we're now able to put back in the garden to grow more food, to get back in the community. So it's a full cycle that we got going on here.
What we want to do is we want to contribute food that is culturally appropriate to our community. As you saw in our distribution, it's full of different different tribes, tongues, you know. There's space for fellowship and there's space for community. And we wanted to welcome everyone. And that's our vision, right? We want to welcome everyone with this heart of God's love and hospitality.
See, most of the people that make this happen are volunteers. They're folks that believe in this mission of not only food justice, but caring for the community and caring for God's creation. And so we have folks distributing food. We have folks going out to grocery stores to bring food donations back that are going to be discarded. We have people that are sorting through the food and they're making sure that it's good to go, it's beautiful, that people will eat it. And we have people that are restocking the shelves, and we have people that are registering our guests when they come. And then we have volunteers in the garden that weekly, multiple times a week, they're out pulling weeds, planting, watering, making sure the plants have everything they need to grow. And so with that combination, each month we have over probably 120, 130 volunteers that help us out each month. And so that means over the span of when the Common Table started giving out food and started this whole process, we've had hundreds and hundreds of volunteers that have given their time, their own energy, their abilities to make sure that this happens, and all for God's glory and for our neighbors' good.
So the food is important, but it's just so much more than just the food that's being offered here. It's an opportunity to connect with people, to meet your neighbor maybe for the first time, to encourage one another, to exchange stories, to give testimonies, to pray for one another. It's an opportunity for the community to really become family. And that's what you sense here, that's what you feel here. Even the artwork on our campus represents that story. The idea that everybody's voice matters, everybody has a story, and we're better together.
Welcome to the Urban Oasis. This is a beautiful part of Common Ground's campus. Let me take you around. So this area over here, next to the garden that we run here at Common Ground, is where we do all the composting. So we get food donated to us throughout the week, but not all of it lasts till Saturday. Donations are beautiful. We get some beautiful fruits and vegetables, but sometimes we can't give it out. It starts going bad before we can give it out. So instead of throwing it away, we've started composting it. So a few years back, we were noticing how much food we were having to throw away and how unhelpful that is for the environment. we could do so much more for the environment and for our community and for the garden here if we just composted it. It's kind of interesting that we have this going on in the back property here of our church, but it's actually, there's a lot of compost networks throughout the city, and Sacramento is really trying to do a lot better of making sure there's less food waste thrown into landfills. And so we are part of that here as well. And it creates a beautiful cycle with the food distribution, because food comes in, we give it out to the community, but nothing goes to waste. So instead of being thrown in the trash, the food then is used to create more soil, which then helps grow more food.